Walter, I'm not sure about this, man. I can't swim. Why'd I gotta do a video underwater?
It just seems cooler to film underwater, Amy. Plus it fits with the theme of the video.
I'm gonna drown.
Oh, would you relax? The helmet you're wearing will protect you. Oh, for Pete's sake. Ah, that's much better.
I want you all to know that I do not approve of me being thrown into water just because I'm talking about Little Mermaid, okay? It's not necessary. It's not necessary, okay? Jeez. I guess to explain how this all even came to be, we need to go back in time to the 80s. I apologize for how my Muppet looks. All the other ones were unavailable for some reason. After the Muppet Show ended in 1981, Jim Henson went on to do other projects, like numerous movies, and being the creative force behind various projects for television. For the first time in years, Henson's associate future was uncertain. Until 1989. You see, the Walt Disney Company, long removed from its golden and silver ages, was then under the leadership of its newly appointed CEO, Michael Eisner, who had been strategizing different options to revitalize the historic and acclaimed entertainment entity. Both in similar situations, Jim and Michael will both inevitably cross paths. Those two sides in spring 1989 entered negotiations for the Walt Disney Company to acquire Henson Associates. The merger would allow Disney to take care of the business side of production, freeing up Jim Henson to focus on more of the creative side of his work. During the ongoing acquisition discussions, Jim Henson began collaborating with the Walt Disney Company to produce movies, theme park attractions, and TV shows. That fall, Disney will return to its fairy tale form with its upcoming anime feature, The Little Mermaid. The adaptation was positioned to kick off a renaissance that would inspire a generation and started a wave of production opportunities for Disney and its want-to-be partner, Jim Henson. By the late 1980s, production had been wrapping up on The Little Mermaid, a movie that captured the spirit of Disney storytelling, and at the time, Jim Henson had been exploring collaboration ideas for his partnership with the Walt Disney Company. Allegedly, while The Little Mermaid was still in production, Henson approached Disney with a pitch for a new show using characters from the imminent movie. Disney had been seeking spin-off concepts for the franchise and agreed to produce the show. Under the name Little Mermaid's Island, the show was planned to air on Disney Channel and had 25-minute episodes for a preschool audience. Its cast would feature costume-live actors and puppets crafted by Ed Christie from Jim Henson's Creature Shop, and that was essentially the extent of Jim Henson's involvement. He would not direct, produce, or perform in the show. Rather, the show was produced by John Purdy. The two pilot episodes were filmed a few months after the movie's release in spring of 1990 in a studio in Los Angeles' Silver Lake District. Walter! Walter! Walter, do you copy, Walter?
Whoa. Amy, what's wrong? Are you okay?
Walter! Oh, Walter! Look, you gotta get me out of here, man. An octopus! It kidnapped me! It kidnapped me!
Calm down. Do you know where you are?
Well, it looks like I'm in a cave with an octopus. And I think it's got ADHD because it's doing a lot of multitasking right now.
My wife remorselessly cheated on me and also got pregnant from her AP. Not sure if this is the right sub, but I can't think of anywhere else to post this.
Alright, I'm tracking your location right now.
Can't you just teleport me out of here already? Please, I want to be done!
Well, first of all, dumbass, I need to track your location first. After I locate you, I need to make a teleportation device so that I can teleport you back home. In the meantime, try to distract yourself by finishing the video.
Okay, fine. I guess I could distract myself while you work on that teleportation device.
That's the spirit. Now try to stay calm. I'll get you home soon.
Well, I can't really talk about mermaids in a cave. Alright, I just need to go to my happy place. Go to my happy place. Go to my happy place. Go. Well, this isn't exactly what I had in mind, but then again, this is in my head, so I guess it should try to conjure up the pilot. That's much better. Granted, I'm not playing audio, but it's still pretty good. Little Mermaid's Island featured many of the movie's characters, including Ariel, who was played by Marietta de Prima, Sebastian, who had his role reprised by Samuel E. Wright from the movie, Scuttle, who was voiced by Buddy Hackett from the film, and Grimsby, who was played by Clive Revill. Uncredited returning characters included Flounder, Max the Dog, which was a repurposed puppet from Labyrinth, which, oh my god, I didn't actually know that, as well as antagonists Flotsam and Jetsam. In addition to the familiar faces, Little Mermaid's Island also introduced a new character to the franchise, which was Flounder's sister Sandy, and a costume character played by Michael Thompson named Scales the Dragon. He got the name because he's a musical dragon. Get it? Musical scales? Dragon scales? Scales the Dragon? That's not funny. Some of the movie's key characters weren't in the TV show, which included Prince Eric and Ursula, but since the show was somewhat of a prequel to the movie, this made sense. Editing Amy cutting in here to say that eventually I will mention that The Little Mermaid did eventually get a cartoon series in 1992, which debuted the same day as the stage show that came out, and stuff like that. I also wanted to mention the fact that there is a prequel movie called Little Mermaid 3, Ariel's Beginnings, so I guess Disney still wanted to milk prequel stuff. There's also a newer show about Little Mermaid on Disney Junior, but that's more canon towards the remake, live-action remake, so that doesn't really count for what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 80s, 90s ones or whatever. Also missing from the lineup were King Trenton and his daughters, but that would have been a lot of money. So, the actors and puppets were formed in front of a blue screen with underwater and tropical sets edited behind them using chroma key technology. The pilot episodes did not have a fully developed title sequence or proper ending credits, but they did have a theme song with Ariel and Sebastian singing, which is playing in the background right now. Music was a strong premise in the show, with each episode featuring multiple numbers by the main characters. They all had their own style. Ariel sang pop songs, Sebastian performed reggae, which makes sense, and Scales played rock and roll, which, I guess that makes sense for Scales. Good for him. Little Mermaid's Island had a few different settings where scenes took place. A reef on the ocean floor where many of Ariel's scenes were, a bridge where Scuttle's scenes were, a ship for Grimsby, and Scales' cave that had a piano bridge leading to it. Okay, that's pretty sick, I won't lie. Faithful to its Muppet roots, the show had a lot of puns. A lot of them. Most of the show's jokes relied on play on words, mainly from Scuttle and Sebastian. The first of the two pilots was titled Sebastian's Birthday, which had a familiar plot. The characters were acting too busy to notice that it was his birthday, and in the end, he found out everyone knew all along, and they threw him a surprise party at Scales' cave. The second episode, called Tell the Truth, found Flounder and Sandy as they struggled to tell Ariel the truth about what happened to her pearls. Scuttle also faced the same dilemma, and everyone learned their lesson about honesty. Both episodes were structured similarly, and involved a subplot of the antagonist eels manipulating the characters. After the pilot episodes were produced, the show's eventual premiere was in late 1990 or early 1991. That's when it was made public. There's a quote from Stacey Smith of Los Angeles Times in February of 1990, and she said that kids who couldn't get enough of Disney's Little Mermaid will have plenty of new mermaid adventures, stories, and music to look forward to. And while the show had very good voice acting and catchy songs, Jim Henson wasn't satisfied. He wasn't up to the standards, and that's understandable. This is technically his work, even though he didn't really contribute that much to it. But, unfortunately though, he did die in 1990 on May 16th, about 2 months after the pilots were filmed. And the merger between Disney and Henson's production company hadn't been finalized, so the contracts remained unsigned. And following his death, Disney did not have access to Henson's team once they completed existing commitments. Little Mermaid's Island, which was one of the final productions Henson had a hand in, was unfortunately abandoned. Only 2 pilots were filmed, and the episodes never aired. With Henson being disappointed in the results, he likely would have made adjustments to it. What the final product would have looked like is unknown. Disney moved forward with other Little Mermaid projects, notably the Disney Channel TV series of the same name and the Voyage to the Little Mermaid stage show at Disney MGM Studios, both of which debuted in 1992. Disney also released a Little Mermaid children's book collection in the early 90s called Little Mermaid's Treasure Chest. The series was loosely based on the show, featuring Sandy and Scales from the unaired pilots. One of the sets from the abandoned project was used in a 1983 episode of Dinosaurs for a passing Little Mermaid spoof of shellfish singing a song called Under the Water. Perhaps the only official Jim Henson and Little Mermaid connection we're left with is a small Kermit the Frog Easter egg in Little Mermaid. And also this tweet that a song from the Little Mermaid show would be used in the Sesame Street VHS tape Telling the Truth, just with rewritten lyrics. The on-air pilots have been preserved online, leaving fans with one small example of what the Henson-Disney partnership could have produced. Walter, get me out of here!
Get in the swim, come in from the ocean. Go with the wind and get into motion. Got to be with them, float on the rhythm. Music is in the air.
Oh, shiver me cause I'm dancing on dry land, simply because there's joy on this island.
Kick up your flippers and ride out the kippers. Music is in the air on the mermaid's island. Come ashore, far from the quiet of the ocean floor. If music's what you're looking for, come on this way.
On little mermaid's island life is grand, up when the waves caress the sand. When you hear the mermaid's island band, come on and play.
Shake off that kelp, rev up your torso. One thing can help, even one more so.
Anything snappy makes you feel happy. Music is in the air. We got a sound and everyone's in it. Just turn around and you'll be a spinning.
Fingers are snapping,
Claws are a clapping. Music is everywhere. Take it from me, from under the sea. Music is in the air. That was beautiful.
on the mermaid's island life is grand.
Up where the waves caress the sand. When you hear the Mermaid Island band, come on and play. We got a sound and everyone's in it. Just turn around and you'll be a spinning. Fingers are snapping, claws are a clapping. Music is everywhere.